For millennia, the Pharaohs guarded a secret, not of this world. Their lineage was traced to the stars, to rulers from another galaxy.
A secret program was formed to track the celestial visitors.
Recovered wreckage spoke of technology far beyond our comprehension.
Declassified footage reveals the undeniable speed and silent departure.
Eyewitness accounts detail creatures of impossible height and luminescence.
The craft moved without effort, a shadow in the midnight sky. Dig deeper, and the true foundation of Giza begins to surface. The wildlife knew, sensing the unnatural presence in the sands.
Within the bedrock, corridors led to a vault of stellar knowledge.
Physical evidence was meticulously collected and immediately classified.
Nature itself conspired to hide structures predating the Pharaohs.
The transmissions were not static. They were structured, alien signals.
Our fastest interceptors were toys to the agility of their craft.
Somewhere in the vastness, the true prizes were held in cold storage.
Biological samples held the key to the royal bloodline's origin.
The exchange was brief, silent, and conducted far from prying eyes. The signature of their engines left an indelible, non-terrestrial mark.
Accidents happen, even when defying physics is routine.
Inside the tomb, the remains hinted at a lineage not quite human.
Their domain was not just the air, but the ocean's silent, crushing depths. Generations of secrecy were codified and locked away in the deepest vaults. During powerful storms, the ancient structures became energy conduits.
Language of geometry was a blueprint for their interstellar craft.
Under the cloak of darkness, the recovered materials were moved and studied.
The objects defied mass, density, and every known material science.
Deep in the earth, the landing zones were carved out long before civilization.
In their final hours, some chose to break the oath of silence.
From orbit, the energy signature could not be mistaken for terrestrial. Beneath the soil, a colossal machine waited for its celestial masters.
They moved with purpose, completely ignoring every defense system.
The skeletal remains were fragile, yet their density was incomparable.
The landing preparations were deliberate, powerful, and instantaneous.
Our probes found geometric interiors, perfectly crafted by non-human hands.
Something was not inert. Something was still resonating with power.
The last recording detailed an object of truly colossal, terrifying size.
Pharaohs used alien power to seal the gateway, not just the tomb.
The retrievals were messy, chaotic, and left their own scars on the landscape.
The evidence was suppressed, sanitized, and stored at the highest levels.
The keepers of the knowledge followed the green flash, the sign of arrival.
Their navigation systems predated all known human astronomy by millennia. The ocean holds the scars of their deep water departures and returns.
The materials themselves seem to possess a form of complex, organic life.
The first encounter was not with a pilot, but a lone sentry, an artifact.
Even buried, their craft were impossible to hide from the thermal eye.
Surface properties reflected light in ways that defied optics.
The Pharaohs knew their true masters, paying homage to the cosmic royalty.
The event they feared most was a coordinated, overwhelming return.
When a truth is too profound, the instinct is to destroy the evidence.
The pyramids were not tombs. They were massive, planetary power plants.
The script was etched, not with tools, but with atomic precision.
Years of research failed to penetrate the artifact's incredible resilience.
Desert revealed the massive docking rings of a colossal, ancient vessel. The Watchers were always present, observing the custodians of the artifacts.
Mayday, we're going down. I don't know what that is. It's...
Human technology could not record the physics of their intervention.
They moved the statues, removing all public signs of the alien lineage. The veil of water and fog could not hide their sudden, powerful re-emergence.
King's DNA held the unmistakable signature of two distinct species.
This was not a king, but a vessel. Beneath the facade, the true construction material was not of this earth.
The residual radiation was minor, yet the energy signature was staggering. The patterns they left were precise, permanent, and utterly silent. The only evidence gathered now comes from clandestine civilian cameras.
The tracks left by their colossal vessels scarred the planet's surface. The smart Pharaohs defied damage, possessing a complex, regenerative ability.
They were not flying, they were teleporting, crossing vast, stellar distances.
The capstone was not a completion. It was the final, active focusing lens. Scrolls revealed the transition from historical account to technical manual.
The modern plunder was not for gold, but for the priceless alien technology. The ocean gave up a secret, a derelict, impossible geometry resting offshore.
Their mere proximity caused massive, systemic, electromagnetic failure.
The truth was brokered at the highest levels,
far from public scrutiny.
The crystalline structures grew with a logic not found in any earthly mineral. The ancient sites were still guarded by their tireless, mechanical sentinels.
The greatest secrets are often buried alongside the men who discovered them.
The jungle's dense cover hid a fleeting, interdimensional power surge.
Technology responded only to concentrated, non-verbal, conscious thought.
The tomb itself was the ultimate safe, requiring a complex, alien access code.
For the faithful, it was a god. For the scientific, an interstellar machine.
The canyons were used as vast, natural message boards for arriving ships.
The transfers were always conducted under the guise of oversized military cargo.
The phenomenon was not natural. It was the power consumption of a stellar drive.
The key was alignment. A massive, global energy grid, activated by their return.
The mask was not a symbol. It was a perfect, horrifying portrait of their true face.
The seafloor preserved structures that defied the timeline of human civilization. The communication was multi-layered, evolving, and far more complex than language. The material was still active, still resonating with the inertia of deep space travel.
Our most powerful defenses proved useless against their impervious armor.
Where they landed, the ecology itself was subtly, irrevocably altered.
The ancient oral tradition preserved details that science refused to believe. Deep under the ice shelf, something immense and energized waited patiently.
Full data transfer was a torrent of information that overwhelmed our systems.
The children were the first to see them, and their memories were quickly erased. The kings were not always gray.
Their defense systems could melt steel at vast distances with surgical precision.
The history was a mask for a star chart, a coded planetary destination.
The gateway was opening. The atmosphere could no longer resist the power.
The simplest objects possessed the most radical, impossible properties.
The public declaration was suddenly and violently terminated by unseen forces.
The Nile, the lifeblood of the kings, was a constant mirror for their return.
No amount of force or heat could breach the integrity of the outer shell.
Carvings covered kilometers, designed as a massive, visible landing indicator.
Our own ventures into space found their derelict markers on the lunar surface.
The final, irrefutable image. The fusion of terrestrial royalty and celestial blood. They are here now, scanning the monuments, preparing for the full retrieval.
The ancient access codes were in our hands all along, hidden in plain sight.
The beacon is active. The call was heard across the galaxy. The kings are returning home.
The ancient custodians await their celestial, powerful, rightful masters.
Contact has been made, but the terms are not ours to dictate.
They have arrived. The age of the human kings is over.
Resistance is irrelevant. Their power reshapes reality at their will. The transfer of allegiance is instantaneous, silent, and absolute.
And we, the keepers of the forbidden truth, can only watch and record.
Is not the end of history, but the reclamation of a celestial, ancient legacy.
The hidden bloodline has returned, and their reign is just beginning.